human beings, as stupid as we are when it comes to wars and everything, actually are quite clever.
Hang on,
one.
what do you mean? Yeah. It's a new experience for me. I was all like, what?
So you asked a chatbot how to deal with a chatbot.
It gets to that rev limiter quick. We're doing some miles an hour.
I'm late for work and my fuel light has just come on, so I'm going to be even later for work.
We're outside.
Yeah, superb.
And it's episode number
17?
Welcome, folks. Okay, we've had a little bit of a break because, you know, we're allowed a break and it is summer, but we're back to disappoint you. And this is episode number 16.
Grave disappointment.
16.
Oh yeah, close, mate. Close.
And it's, I've got a list here. I've got a cheat list. You've got a cheat list, but it's on your phone, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. But the thing is, bear in mind, I'm not going to get to my phone just yet because I have no idea what the content of this episode is going to be yet.
He does. If you're new to the channel, this is Ak, motorbike guy, has a motorbike channel. I'm Paul, car guy, have a car channel. You get the idea. Links to both channels in the description below. Yeah, so I bring therefore the car elements and you bring the bike elements. I think when it comes to autonomous driving and therefore autonomous riding, I don't see how that's going to work on a bike. So I want you to go first.
Interesting you talk about that, because Honda have been developing for the last, I don't know however many years it is, they've been talking about autonomous riding or autonomous motorcycles. Not so much as in they will go on their own per se, but whereby they claim they're going to be able to produce a motorcycle that can't fall over.
Right, it's got stabilisers on.
No, that's the whole point. It doesn't actually have stabilisers.
Because to quote one of my favourite Depeche Mode songs, get the balance right, how's that going to work? Ultimately, with an autonomous car, it's kind of quite stable. How's it going to work on a bike?
Well, I don't actually know, but it's all to do with like computers and gyroscopics and whatnot. So, I mean, you've obviously seen all the videos of all the robot dogs.
Oh yeah, and how they can,
and all that sort of malarkey.
You can knock them over
Honda
and they get up.
claim that they can do something, I'm assuming using similar sort of technology, whereby the bike can actually come to a stop and nothing will come down. You don't have to put your feet down. Nothing mechanically will come down. Although there are bikes out there now that have these sort of things that come out when you stop.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
We're not talking about off the peg motorcycles. We're talking about custom bikes.
Yeah,
custom
but even so, somebody's thought about it.
For example, in the world of disability, there are certain bikes that have been modded, whereby I don't know specifically what disability we're talking about. I'm guessing some kind of paralysis.
Yeah.
But we get riders who can ride these bikes, but when the bikes actually come to a stop, stabilizers of some degree will actually.
Yeah, they'll deploy.
So the point is, you'll come to because
it's going to know that it's coming to a stop, isn't it? So I suppose.
Exactly. So when we talk about a sort of disability, I mean, I saw a video on it. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think how long ago it was now. Whereby, due to the person's disability, they had to be physically strapped to the motorcycle.
Okay.
And obviously, at the end of the ride, they had to be taken off the motorcycle.
Okay.
And we're not talking about something whereby people were allowed to do that sort of thing on the road. This is on a closed track. It was on a racetrack.
Yeah.
But the point is, they come to a stop, and two little arms came down and stopped the bike. Which, I mean, there's no reason why that can't be brought to,
mass production.
But how they're going to do it by way of, I don't even know what the technology is. Inertia. Well, it's not going to be inertia, is it? But they claim, that they are going to achieve that within, I think they quoted something like the next 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
Which is interesting and somewhat scary. I mean, you think about it, it's an object whereby it's a bit like a unicycle or a cycle, obviously 2 wheels. As soon as the momentum has gone and or you haven't put your foot down or there's not a mechanical object that stabilizes it, how on earth is it going to stay upright? That's proper like, ooh.
We're showing our age, Jack, I think.
Yeah, crazy.
It doesn't, yeah. Mind you, time frames tend to never quite get delivered on time for these things, do they? So if they're saying 10 years, you can...
Yeah.
You can add a few.
What like the government's time frame to stop sale of all new internal combustion engine vehicles, you mean?
Or delivering HS2 for less than $50 trillion. So
HS2,
so when I saw ACT's suggestion for autonomous driving and therefore autonomous riding, I was intrigued because ultimately it does sound a little bit more problematic when you're talking to. I know you could have a trike, couldn't you?
Well,
I guess a trike would
that
automatically.
defeats the object because it's 3 wheels.
It's not a motorbike.
Yeah.
But I did consider that would be the easier option. Can I give you some car stuff then? And I'll consult with my notes here, folks.
Yeah,
Like
no,
Act consults
because
with his notes.
yeah, I'm just trying to think because I made some notes. So you talk about the car stuff. I'll completely ignore you and bury myself in my phone when I find what I need to speak about next.
I'd like to say there's a change there, but there's no change there whatsoever.
Ooh.
So this is just between you and me then, folks. The motorbike guy we've lost for a minute. He's offline. He'll be back online in a minute. So, of course, Tesla's amongst other cars.
Found it.
Tesla's amongst other cars obviously can self-drive.
Right.
In fact, there's a video. Okay, it was obviously set up by Tesla, but there's
This
a
is one
video
where it delivered itself.
There's a video online of a Tesla traveling many miles to deliver itself to a customer, and of course, it had to navigate local roads,
Yeah,
main roads.
that's a massive PR stunt, isn't it?
Roadworks.
Was that a genuine?
Yeah,
genuine.
genuine thing. And what I liked about it was when the car did pull up at the, obviously where it had been told to pull up. In my opinion, what the car looks like it does is it indicates to say it's pulling up in front of what looks like a block of apartments or something. But then because it had stopped and where it had stopped, it decided to put the hazard lights on, and I just thought that was a really cool sort of final bit of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So of course Teslas, amongst other other brands of vehicle are available, folks, are already almost there with autonomous driving. Waymo. I'm sure Axe heard of Waymo. Waymo, I think it is. Okay, so I'm going to list some places because I've got it on my cheat list. Waymo operates in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Austin, Dallas.
Oh, is this one of these kind of like Uber-y type thing, but it's all autonomous?
Houston, San Antonio, Atlanta, Miami,
Sorry to
and
interrupt.
Orlando. I thought it's easy just to stop. They are a sort of Uber type of thing. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
a completely autonomous taxi. And when we talk about autonomous driving or riding or whatever, or anything autonomous in our world, there's always going to be a section of society that will either be completely against it,
Well,
Or-
toasters are autonomous.
or for some
Not
reason,
against that.
yeah, kettles, for some reason, they'll feel that it's not as safe. Now, not that it's of any interest to anyone watching this video. I've travelled an hour and a half today to get to you, right? I've
No,
seen
it's
some
right, it's not many
interesting
in-
driving styles today. The reality is, autonomous driving, or should I say autonomous vehicles, will prove to be by far the safest form of transport. That's just the world we're going to be living in, everyone. These things are coming, they're going to happen, and in fact at some point in the future, children of generations further on will look back and go, so you drove the car to get to get to where you're going?
Yeah.
Because that's how daft it will be perceived. I'm sure when people were on horse and cart, yeah, they'd have never have felt in a million years that there'd be such a thing as even a car. And cars that do over 200 miles. Yeah, all these things, they come in a relatively short time frame because human beings, as stupid as we are when it comes to wars and everything, actually are quite clever when we want to put our minds to it. So these things, the change is coming.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about. Obviously, I've not driven an autonomous car. However,
Well, you wouldn't have done, you'd have been sitting there.
yeah, agreed. Smart ass.
Go on.
But I've driven a car that's got a lot of autonomous type driving aids.
Yes,
Jane's car.
yes,
Now, unfortunately, I couldn't go anywhere in the settings and turn all of that shit off
no.
because I couldn't. However, I think the issue that we're going to have as a human race ultimately is trust. And I can only talk about that by way of my own experience.
Yeah.
It's the thing that this thing has got, which is really rather cool, is I think it's called adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also got.
Which has been around for years, that
Hang on,
one.
what do you mean? Yeah. It's a new experience for me. I was all like, whoa! whoa! And
adaptive
you're like,
cruise has been out
adaptive
for like
cruise control.
has probably been
What,
out
you
for
mean cars used to have that 20 years ago,
yeah,
Grandad?
20 odd years ago. Yeah,
Um,
he's younger than me, but go on.
and what was the other one it's got? It's got, I don't know what it's actually called, but basically it will brake for you.
Yeah,
if
it's
you
autonomous
forget.
braking.
Fine.
Wait, it's actually AEB, autonomous emergency
And
braking.
so I was driving wherever I was driving, and obviously I put cruise control on. The moment you put cruise control on, it becomes adaptive. I didn't know it was adaptive until the car started slowing down, and I was like, WTF.
Yeah.
And then I kind of
Am I
realised...
losing power? Is it breaking down?
And then I realised that once the car accelerated away in front of me, the car sped up as well. And then it became a bit of a laugh then, because...
the computer nerd came out in act, didn't it? Because we are PlayStation people, aren't we?
Yeah. So even though I was in the car and I had my foot covering the brake at all times, because I still don't 100% trust it, I would literally not do jack. So even when the car in front of me came to a complete stop, I wouldn't do anything. I'd let the car do it.
Yeah, you trust.
But the interesting thing is, when you're going at a certain speed and the car in front of you brakes slowly, the whole thing is quite a relatively gentle process. It's like ebb and flow.
Yep.
But when the car stops relatively quickly, I don't know whether it's a delay thing deliberately set into the car, or the car wants to know conclusively that I need to stop, so I'll stop. So the point is, it gives itself a few more seconds to make that decision.
Well,
But arguably, it was almost like last minute, boom, 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 emergency brake.
yeah,
Christ
because it's going to
almighty.
assume that you're in control, and that at some point the algorithm's
Yeah.
going to say
And
driver
I
is
was
not
under the-
alert and in control.
And I was under the impression that it should be a bit more the other way around, in that specific instance. But and then the funniest thing for me was the fact that when the car in front disappeared, obviously I'd have to press the accelerator to start it. It wouldn't automatically start.
No.
But once I let the thing off the leash, it would accelerate all the way up to the preset speed at quite a rate of knots until it got to whatever speed I was doing at the time, or whatever I'd set it to. And I drove around like that for, I don't know, a period of time, having a bit of a laugh with it. But it's just going back to my original point. I think it's the trust issue. Never at any point did I not focus on the road ahead.
No.
Not at any point did I
No.
not have my foot over the brake, thinking any second now it's not going to work, and I'm
And you're
going
going
to
to
have to do it.
intervene.
Yeah.
A bit like when something catastrophic happens on a plane, the autopilot goes, "It's over to you now, Gov.
Yeah.
I can't do this."
Yeah.
So it's kind of the reverse of that. You see, I think we've discussed driving aids in the previous video, or we certainly need to discuss more of it in the future. Car nuts don't like cars built after, say, 2018, because
I'm not surprised.
because we're all getting into modern cars and we're going off. And of course, European legislation obviously dictates that these systems automatically come back on when you restart the car. So it's just a procedure that you get used to turn them back off, because we
Yeah.
don't actually want them. There is another video that's going around on YouTube which opened up a slight question mark with insurance claims, but actually it's still a no-brainer, where a new BMW was on a 3 or 4 lane motorway in the UK, and this footage has been captured by another car, because lots of cars got CCTV now, so it's been captured by another vehicle not involved in anything at all with this. And you see the BMW going along in lane 1, which in itself is a bit of a surprise for a BMW. You'd expect them to be always hogging lane 2s or 3s, but anyway, this BMW is in lane 1. You don't initially see a vehicle behind, and for no reason, the autonomous emergency braking activated.
When it's clear in front.
Clear in front.
Bloody hell.
So the vehicle does an emergency stop with the hazard lights flashing quick, and gets rear-ended by the car behind. So
I'm not surprised.
it's still the fault of the driver behind. That's the fact.
Yeah, no, agreed.
But I don't like systems.
That's a failure. It's a system failure, which is arguably...
Apparently, I don't know. I haven't done the legwork on this, folks. You may know more than I. There are suggestions of, obviously, I don't know whether it's more dirt on windscreen, overhead bridges, whatever it was, something triggered that car to autonomously brake. So I guess it's like everything in life. You can't have a plus without a minus. 99% of the time, the systems are probably making driving safer and making the people behind the wheel even less caring about the fact that they're driving.
Yeah.
We've discussed that in previous episodes. But the fact that this car is driving along and autonomously did an emergency stop, as in obviously a complete stop. It didn't slow down, it stopped very quick.
Stood on the
Which
brakes.
in a modern BMW is going to be very quick indeed.
Yes,
and
yeah.
got rear-ended. Not good.
Wow.
So would I personally drive a car with autonomous braking and leave it on? Never. It'd be turned off every single time. I would personally, for me, I would prefer to have that control.
No, I agree.
Even though the system is obviously going to react quicker than I am, because of course I always say about thinking distance and stuff. The thinking distance for autonomous braking is going to be measured in milliseconds. It's not measured in milliseconds with this clump of brain going on in here, particularly at my age. So the thought process is a lot quicker, but I still want that decision.
Yeah, no, agree. I still think it's got its place, though.
Yeah, it's got its place.
I mean, I don't know where it is in industry right now, but I can see, for example, like, I don't know, freight yards, lorry terminals, distribution centres, where they're shunting stuff about.
And you don't want things to hit other things.
You could argue that, I don't know whether some of them worldwide already are autonomous or they're going that way, but you can see that kind of environment being completely autonomous. And although it's a good idea because, you know, technology, woohoo, and all that.
It will get there.
But at what cost to the human factor? If you think about a distribution centre now where there's lorries or trailers with goods on going all over the place within this particular terminal. I mean, let's just think about, for example, I don't know, like a parcel network hub, where every night, for example,
very busy, lots going on.
Every night, lots of trailers going in there. Not so much they get, you know, unloaded and reloaded, but the point is there a certain amount of freight in there, whether it be palletized or on the back of a truck or back of a lorry or a little container. It's going to, within those confines of that ground, it's going to have to go from A to B. Because tomorrow it's going to be going over there, type thing.
Yeah.
You could, in theory, automate all of that. I mean, you've seen it now,
I bet it's already been done.
arguably. But let's just say, for example, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when everything within that particular hub or terminal, distribution center, whatever you call it, was all done by me and you.
Of course.
The human factor is now, for example, where you got them that are completely autonomous. How many people were forced out of work?
Yeah. Well,
and if you think going forward,
it's getting a bit deep, this autonomous drive, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's a well-documented fact that the same fears happened when we were moving quite quickly into the Industrial Revolution. And what they found in reality was, yes, a lot of jobs went, but actually new jobs came on board because of that Industrial Revolution.
So you think it will kind of equalise itself?
It seems to balance itself out. It's the same discussion that people are now having with AI, where AI is going to take lots of jobs, particularly media jobs and marketing jobs and customer service jobs. But in reality, we think, who knows what the future holds, we think that whilst therefore many, many jobs will be lost, other jobs even will come on stream because of it. So it's never as clean cut as that's cost 200,000 jobs.
No, agreed. But there's certain elements of AI, bit of a sidetrack, that I absolutely frigging hate, and one specifically that you just mentioned was customer service. I was on a particular website the other day, which will remain nameless because I'm very, very unhappy with them, trying to get something sorted out. There was no physical contact details by way of email or phone number for this company. And they had an automated chat bot. Yeah. Well, contact us now. Normally, say even 5 years ago, you do this chat bot, and even though you might be speaking to someone the other side of the world, it will still be a human person.
It would be,
right? I've not got an issue with speaking to a human person, but a human person generally tends to get the nuances of what you're trying to put across.
Yeah.
Whereas I was trying to tell this frigging chatbot what I was after, was not having it. I tried it many, many different ways.
I wish we'd have filmed that, but yeah.
I even arguably went to ChatGPT and said, I'm talking to a chatbot. I want to find out this. I'm not getting this answer. And it gave me a load of things to try.
So you asked a chatbot how to deal with a chatbot?
Agreed.
What an interesting conundrum we find ourselves.
And even the chatbot or even the AI answers to how to address the question were unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I just pick up the fucking phone or email somebody? It's just ridiculous, utterly ridiculous.
So,
Anyway,
have you done with the motorbike bit, by the way?
hold on. Ooh, back in the room.
He feels fine, folks. He's absolutely fine. I can't believe you used a chatbot to work out how to talk to time. But you're right. Incidentally, just to round that bit off that you did say, this is classic, and I'm sure people have noticed this already. But every company that you deal with, just pick any, Aviva, any insurance company, anything, right?
Oh.
If you want to open an account or do something with them, interact with them as a business, in other words, bring them new business, there is a telephone number to do that.
And you'll get a real person.
And someone to talk to.
Yes, because they want
Once you're in the system,
Yeah, they don't care.
just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, no, very, very true. Very, very true. And annoying.
So, what was I going to say?
Autonomous.
Autonomous.
Driving. Is it
I
the
just
future?
wondered whether the motorbike.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen, is it?
Yeah,
and there will
agreed.
be a time
It's
in the
gonna
future where people look back and go, "Did you actually drive it yourself?" Interruption number 17.
Yeah. Autonomous driving. Going forward the other way. Think of a couple of Hollywood films that have actually portrayed autonomous driving. There's one with Tom Cruise. I can't think what it was.
You're
Minority Report.
Minority Report.
There was one with Will Smith with all
With
the
no
robots.
Audi branding whatsoever.
iRobot. But the point is,
iRobot.
there's scenes where you've got freeways there
Yeah.
of all the cars
Yeah.
doing their thing, and then cut scenes of people in the car drinking their cups of tea,
Yep.
or whatever the hell they're doing, but
Yep.
they're obviously not driving a vehicle.
No.
When we get to that state, it's interesting because it'll be perfectly normal to everyone at that point.
Correct.
And there'll be no issues with them
No.
doing it, as opposed to there's no issues with us in the
it
morning.
won't even
getting
be
up in the
thought
morning
about.
and making a bacon sandwich.
It won't be
It's
thought
completely
about.
normal.
Yep.
And that's just it's going to be a slow evolutionary process.
So to round it, I think we'd be there today because the technology exists today. Bear with me. The only reason it's not there today is because the algorithms, the technology involved to make these vehicles autonomous is having to deal with what? Normal folk and normal traffic. So what I mean by that is, if you could
The
switch,
unpredictability of it all,
so if you could
as
switch,
opposed to every single vehicle being autonomous and they just interact with each other.
exactly. So if you could switch off everybody driving tonight, and only autonomous vehicles were out tomorrow,
That would be very, very safe.
it would work.
It would work. But then again, we talked about the impact of the human factor. We could argue now that it's the human factor that's having an adverse effect on this technology moving forward.
Of course it is, but it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
I'm so confident that it's going to happen because
You
I
put a
witnessed.
deposit down on an Audi branded autonomous vehicle.
No chance. I love driving too much because I was in local Morrison's the other day and I captured little. I call it R2D2 V2 going around the aisles cleaning the floor automatically.
I've seen
So,
those.
On that note,
Crazy.
we're all doomed and it's going to happen. Thank you for watching episode number
16?
Stick with us, folks. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you on the next one.